You're listening to Flying Casual, a Star Wars podcast. Here's your host, Michael Canterbury.
I am shaking.
You have chills.
How many times just this evening did we chill out? I think that's what we're going to call it, chilling out.
Maximum chillage.
Maximum chillage, bro. But seriously, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I concurrently reading a Star Wars comic book.
While eating Taco Bell.
Well, we didn't have to disclose everything.
I had to disclose.
I mean, well, I guess after a while you would have noticed the Taco Bell Pepsi that I have because I needed a perk tonight, Holly.
Absolutely.
We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to digest, too. Not just those 2 shredded chicken burritos and a cheesy, whatchamacallit?
Bean and rice.
Cheesy bean and rice burrito.
Bean and rice.
But we have a lot of Star Wars to digest. Am I wrong?
We do.
We do. And no, folks, we have not seen The Rise of Skywalker. So if you're coming into this stream, it's a non-spoiler edition because we haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, for the record, if anybody posts a spoiler in the chat, I'm kicking you out.
I will
Ban you.
find you. But that's the thing. Everyone that participates in our live streams and it's a member of the group and are fans of the show, they're just not gonna do that. That's not the kind of community we have here at Flying Casual. You know what I'm saying?
I do,
it's just I don't even have to say it. Everyone's just on the same page. But I do want to come out in the front and say, no spoilers will be discussed. We haven't seen the movie. Neither of us, I mean, we barely know how to use the internet. So
I don't even know what that is.
I mean, how would we even find spoilers? I don't know. So feel free to speculate, friends, and do the needful because this is going to be a good conversation. But I do have to ask for those of you listening and watching right now, have you read this?
No. Actually, Fogel said that he had, but Wade hasn't.
Fogel's here. Wade hasn't. Okay. Wade and friends who haven't, do you want us to talk about it? Or does he want to read it? Because this comic book has, I cannot emphasize it enough, huge implications for the Skywalker story. I don't know how to not talk about it now. But I get that may be considered a spoiler, Holly.
Is
right?
it a spoiler?
Is it a spoiler? I don't know. I don't know how much of our group reads the comics.
That's true. Some people might not.
You know what I'm saying? Like but this issue, the first issue of, I mean, I'm thinking it's maybe 4 issues that they're going to do. I'm not sure. Huge implications for not only Ben Solo and Kylo Ren, but the Skywalker story.
Yeah. The Skywalker. I know. Okay, Jory.
Yeah. Jory, come on, Jory. What's Jory say?
Said he's not going to read it. So
he's
just
not going to read it, so just tell him. Does Wade feel the same way?
Yeah, he said, you may fire when ready.
You may fire when ready.
Roger.
Okay, and Holly, if you wouldn't mind throwing another comment in the live chat, just so when folks come in later, they can see, hey, warning, we are talking about the rise of Kylo Ren.
I don't know if that's how the chat works. I think if you come into it, you can't see the prior comments.
Wow. Am I learning how a live chat works live?
Yes.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You heard it here first.
That is unfortunate. This is the night. It's Star Wars Eve in the casual household. You feel it in the air.
We're excited.
We're excited. At work today, people felt it, right?
Okay, I do have to tell you a story.
Oh, I love stories.
Well, I've told you
Let's
it.
open it up with
I'm
a
going to
story.
tell
Come on.
everybody a story.
Okay.
I got into work this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting at my desk.
Yes.
One of my employees comes up to me and leans over the edge of my desk and is like, and that's how I knew.
You knew something was coming that you didn't want to hear.
I knew. I had my headphones in.
Yeah.
I slowly took them out. And she was like, I have something to tell you. We need to talk.
And then you force choked her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, and then I was like, yes, because I knew what it was. And she was like, so last night on the internet, I read something about the Rise of Skywalker, and I cut her off, and I was like, get away.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything, but just like incidentally, and like this isn't even spoilers. This is just like everyone knows that reviews are out right now because the world premiere happened. You have not only the cast and the crew that are seeing this film, but now you have the critics, and obviously they're coming out. They do a decent job of like not spoiling anything, but their headlines are supposed to be catchy. So it's like, this movie is trash, or this is the best movie ever. And just seeing, like, I'm just trying to go to the Facebook group, to interact with our community, and I see, mixed reviews. This was garbage. And I hate that. I do not think that critics should see a film before
the public.
I get that that's their job. It is a job. That wasn't meant to be offensive to any critics.
It's their job.
But I just don't understand that, because you're already setting someone up to believe, whether this is a good or bad film, and that I just don't feel like anyone wants that kind of that
negativity.
Or to tell them it's the greatest movie ever. Why don't you just let them go and see it, and you have then your opinion. If you want to go and read a critic's review, great. Go do that. And if you agree with them, that's awesome. If you disagree with them, let them know. Or let them know if you agree with them. It tends, especially big things like this. It happened with Endgame. Like, you have people going out there giving their opinions. Star Wars Newsnet did. Love those guys. They did the same thing. They saw the premiere. They went out and said, I had issues with the big parts, but overall, good film. I'm like, just what?
Also, what does that even mean?
You are supposed to be a leading voice in this community, and you're going out and saying that? I'm sorry. If I got to see a world premiere of this movie, I would be absolutely silent. I would not say a damn word. Can I just say that?
You did.
It just makes me mad. It doesn't ruin it. I don't know if, Palpatine is Luke Skywalker or what. I don't know any spoilers, but it's just like your opinion alone just like annoys me.
Actually, I think we should talk about that. Palpatine is Luke Skywalker.
Well, okay, so
that was Michael's theory.
I mean,
you all heard it.
Do we can get into the theorizing now?
Wait, I thought we were getting into the comic.
We are getting in the comic. I just needed to get that off my chest because I know you guys are probably seeing similar stuff, and just don't pay any attention to it. Just go watch this movie tomorrow, or Friday or Saturday or Sunday, whenever you're seeing it. And I do want to say too, I know Wade posted a nice little thing in the group, about spoilers and stuff, and we're gonna put an announcement on there tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, just reminding people, hey, like, we're going to keep the group spoiler free.
Yeah, sorry guys. If I see a spoiler in the group, I'm deleting the comment.
I think that's fair. And I know people are like, well, the embargo is lifted, but like,
I don't care.
When you get notifications in the group and that kind of thing, it can be frustrating, especially when you're like, oh, someone commented, oh my God, you just told me the whole storyline in one glance, because that can happen.
Oh yeah. Although I will say this, people in the group are very good. I think Brent does this, where like he makes it very clear that this is a spoiler. I think he did it with The Mandalorian Chapter 7 today. Yeah. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler.
He did. No, and that's the thing. So with The Mandalorian, like, I don't know, the access is there pretty immediately. And I love, people do the spoiler, here, you've been warned, this and that. And I think that's fine because the access. But a premiere like this, like the final installment of a Star Wars, I mean, at least the Skywalker story.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, it's pretty epic, yeah.
Does anybody say a Star War, or do people say Star Wars? I think I should post a poll. You always say a Star War.
Yeah, and it's, it's a comedic thing, but it's all because
I feel like you use it ironically for so long that
sometimes.
Now it's just part of
I think so, because I think that's something the older generation said, and I've just kind of picked it up now. But I typically say it to people that don't watch Star Wars, and they're like, wait, I thought it was Star Wars. And I'm like,
what's that scene in Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Where she's like, here's some money, now go
watch a Star War. I thought that was great, and that's a nice segue into the live stream from the world premiere, which if you didn't watch it, you missed out, because that was a good time, right?
There were a couple tears that were shed.
Yeah, ours or
both?
The cast.
Both.
It was a fun production. The Star Wars show always does a really good job with that, and the cast just has a good time with it. But I thought it was great, and I thought something that was really telling was Kathy Kennedy. Do you remember when I had a freak out moment watching the live stream?
No.
Where she said, yeah, this is the final story of Skywalker for now.
Oh, yeah.
She said that, and I went, what?
Okay. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm interrupting.
Nope, that's okay.
Interrupt some
away.
comments. Because I wanted to read these. Wade said, I saw that The Rise of Skywalker is getting slammed for too much fan service and not exploring the alternate story ideas. He said, who cares?
That's right.
If the fans are happy, it's a win.
But here's the thing. Star Wars has never been a critically acclaimed film. It just hasn't. Like, The Last Jedi got a lot of accolades from critics because it took risk. It did something different, and they appreciated that. So if you're going to see a film that's going to dig deep into, Star Wars lore or brings in some expanded universe stuff that if they're not a Star Wars fan, they're not going to get, then they're going to call it a throwaway film or whatever it is. It doesn't feel like it took risk for them. And I think they knew Star Wars to be a thing, and then Rian Johnson did something different.
And
so they're like, we appreciate that. Yeah, it got a lot more praise than other Star Wars movies because the Force Awakens, it didn't do that great with critics. It probably got the same actual reviews or discussions that this film is getting, and I love the Force Awakens. There's some issues. Same with The Last Jedi. I
really like The Force Awakens.
Exactly.
I thought it was a really good Star Wars movie. It's actually one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Exactly.
I really enjoyed it.
I couldn't agree more. So I don't know. I take it with a grain of salt. Go ahead.
Nate said the woman who wrote The Resistance Reborn called it a Star Wars.
Perfect.
So there it is.
Yeah.
I guess it's
there.
It's out there for us to use.
A book which I still have not finished. That's I'm too busy picking up good comics. Okay.
Oh yeah. Let's see. What's that cover look like? Oh,
it's sick. It's got. I mean, you could look it up, but it's got Vader and Kylo Ren right there with it.
That's right.
And it's sick. It just feels like Darth Vader. It's great. But I mean, Charles Soule, I love everything he does for Star Wars, and this did not disappoint at all. And like I said, for you guys that haven't read it, if you're concerned, if we're going to talk about it, I feel like we have to because it's huge and it's going to be good discussion. So let us know if you're concerned about that, but you should go pick it up. It's a quick read. Check it out the best you can. But
well, do we want to talk about it or what?
I do want to talk about it.
Okay,
Holly.
let's talk about it.
We have to talk about it. You haven't seen anything in the chat, right? The people was like, no.
Nobody said don't do it. Although 2 people did leave, so maybe they just didn't want to listen. And fine. Goodbye.
And that's okay. No, it's the kids, or you would say, who knows? I mean, maybe it's because we haven't talked about Star Wars yet, but
maybe it's because you said damn.
I'm just getting warmed up. Okay,
sure.
I've only been drinking Pepsi, not even the Great Lakes Christmas Ale. That's 7.5%. So
it's not the psychopathy.
It's not. So Holly, I don't want to talk about all of it because there's some weird stuff with Ren. What appears to be the original Ren of the Knights of Ren, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, so I was confused because I don't know a lot about that. And then when I was reading the comic, is he saying that the lightsaber's name is Ren, or is Ren a person? Lightsaber, yeah?
Yeah. He said you follow this, and he lit up his lightsaber.
Yeah. So he was talking about the lightsaber, and he kept calling the lightsaber Ren. I don't know.
It's almost just like he's talking about power, though. When he's talking about, it's not like the lightsaber itself, but because he says you don't follow me, friend, and he lights up his lightsaber. He says you follow this, the Ren. And is he talking about the lightsaber itself? I don't know, or if it's just the darkness. I don't know.
But it's the Knights of Ren. It's not the Knights of the Ren.
The Knights of Darkness.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about this. I don't know if there's other information out there that I'm just missing.
This is it. This is the lore of Ren and the Knights of Ren. This is the first we're seeing of it because this is something that J.J. Abrams created. Yeah. This isn't in Legends. This isn't an expanded universe stuff. This is new.
Which is super cool because we're experiencing it firsthand.
It is super cool. So I really do encourage you guys to go out and pick this up and check out this beginning part because it shows that the Knights of Ren have been around for a while, and it looks like they had a different leader at one time, or maybe that's Snoke under the mask. I don't know.
Oh, my God. Okay, can we talk about this a little bit more?
Absolutely.
So, it could be Snoke under the mask, and that was in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to say it. So,
Yeah, what are you going to say? Do you need to hand signal me here? Or?
No, I'm going to talk about Snoke.
Let's talk about Snoke.
Because I feel like a big thing that happened in The Last Jedi is everybody had all these Snoke theories.
Yeah.
And they were not right. None of them.
No.
Well, we don't know. Maybe they are. We don't know. But we did learn a little bit more about Snoke in this, which I was kind of intrigued by because I kind of feel like everything that happened with him was very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Which was disappointing.
Agreed.
That's one of the things about The Last Jedi that I was kind of like, womp womp. But that was my official review.
No, I love it. And you're right. We don't know a lot about him. And this comic promised to shed light on him and Ben. And
it has not disappointed. And it's only one issue.
It did not disappoint. So I can totally see this initial leader of the Knights of Ren. They kind of amass at the end. I could see that being Snoke. He's pretty torn up himself, but he has a kind of a pretty cool mask on him. And he says at the end, "Let's go find something to burn." In the first half of the comic, which I thought, are they the ones who led destruction of Luke's temples? I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
So, are they?
I think so.
I think they could be too.
Are you going to tell everybody what we learned about the destruction of Luke's temple?
I was, and it happens, it jumps right into it. And so, I mean, like I said, guys, this is huge implications for the Skywalker story. So if you don't want it spoiled, I suggest you do go away because we're going to talk about it. If you want to come back, that's fantastic. I'm just trying to give you a full...
I'll see the viewers drop down to one.
That's okay.
It's going to be one.
That's okay.
It's going to be me.
So, I mean, we see... oh gosh, I thought they started with showing Kylo in his bed, but they didn't.
No.
They just show the temple burning, right? And you have a couple of Jedi who show up to the burning temple and they're like, I sense nothing. Like, no, it looks like no one has survived. I don't even sense Master Luke. And he shines like a bright light everywhere he's around, which I thought was really cool. Tapping into the Last Jedi and that novel talking about his presence. But they're like, no, I sense someone, and they find Ben, and they're just like, what happened here, Ben? He's like, he attacked me, and they're like, well, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't hurt anybody, and we know you wouldn't either. He's like, no, you don't understand. I did what I had to do, and you just need to let me leave. And they're like, we're not going to let you leave. Like, we're going to hold you accountable. Or like, there's one Jedi who really wants to help him, and he's like, you guys don't understand. Like, Ben would never do this. Like, you know who his family is. He would never hurt anybody. He didn't do this. And the other two are like, no, we need to, like, bring him to justice. And so he's confronted by most of them, all three of them, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. And he kind of owns them. He force chokes. They're like, wait, he can do that? Like, it's
they didn't teach him that.
And he said they weren't Jedi Knights. So maybe they weren't. Maybe they're actual Padawan learners. I don't know.
But he does get really arrogant about how he's so much more powerful and they're pathetic. He doesn't say they're pathetic.
So did Anakin.
I know.
So did Anakin. So they confront him. He kind of owns them. He hits them with debris and kind of knocks him out, and he flees. But the whole time he's just like you guys don't understand. Just let me leave. He doesn't want. My mind on Kylo Ren after this comic has been completely changed. And I think everyone who said, you know what, I don't think he's as bad as you think, they're kind of right after reading this. So they confront him. He hits them, knocks him kind of out, hurts one of them badly. They stand down, and he leaves. He flees in his ship with his droid, and the three Jedi are sitting there like, we got to go after him. But there's one moment where he knocks them all out and he says, and it goes to the next scene, warned you. And he looks defeated. Like he didn't want to hurt these people.
He definitely didn't want to.
Definitely didn't want to. And he flees.
He ran, yeah.
And guys, I know this is a Rise of Skywalker discussion, but
this is important.
This is going to drive the conversation and the theories and stuff. So he leaves. He goes away and he seems upset. And so we're back then with the three Jedi. They get in their own ship to go after him, and they're talking back and forth. And they're like, the two of them are still like, no, like we gotta bring him just. And the one's like, you don't that's not him. And then the one interesting thing that I think the guy defending him said, like, you don't know him. What Ben's had to deal with. I don't care what he said. He would never do this.
But what has he had to deal with?
What has he had to go through? And I'll tell you right now, we don't learn that. In this issue. I'm sure we will later on. or we will in the
In
Rise
the
of
movie.
Skywalker. Yeah. So they go after him, yada, yada. He comes back at them in an attack run and shoots them once. Just kind of hits one of their engines, which you're like, why did he just? He's a great pilot. Like, he could take him out. And one of the best comments they made. Where was that, Holly?
What comment was it?
Oh, he shoots at him, and they say, like, we need to contact his mother. And the guy's like, yeah, what are we gonna tell him? Like, hey, here it is. Hey, Senator Organa, Hennix here. Your brother supposedly tried to kill your son, but your son killed him instead, and now we're headed off to hunt him down. Like, how are we going to explain this? So he knocks out their engines and takes off. And so they're like, we're going to find, well, we can't, we got to repair our ship. Like, we can't go after him. So then we see Kylo in his ship, and you don't see a comment box for him. You see it like someone's talking to him. And it just says, it happened, did it not? We both thought it might.
So was it Snoke? Was it Luke? Or was it Palpatine?
I think it's Snoke talking to him.
I think it is,
and
too.
in the next scene, if you guys see this, we see the same scene that we saw in The Last Jedi. We see Luke coming down on Kylo, on Ben. He says, Ben, no. But then Snoke here, whoever's talking to him, says, Skywalker feared you, your strength. He was always small. So he's just feeding him this stuff. And then you see the following scene, Luke coming out of or Kylo, Ben, coming out of the rubble, and he says, why? Who's he talking to? He's just looking out at the temple. It's not even destroyed yet, and he just says, why? And then he whips out his lightsaber and points and says, why? Angrily.
Phrasing.
And then they do a close-up on his face, and you see dark, like red clouds over the temple. And he said, why did you do it? And then you see him say, what? And there's an explosion. There is an explosion of the temple. And if you look down here, you see Ben Solo being blown back.
And he didn't destroy the temple.
He didn't destroy the temple. I warned you guys, there's spoilers. That's lightning destroying the temple.
Yeah.
Very similar to the lightning that we have seen throughout the Rise of Skywalker promotional media, right?
Can I interrupt you?
You can interrupt.
Okay.
Please interrupt as will. Interrupt in the comments, too.
Yeah, well, everyone wants to talk about The Mandalorian, and I shut it down. Sorry, fam. I said, no, we're
fam,
not doing
I'm sorry.
that
We haven't watched it either.
We
So
haven't.
I'm sorry.
We
I would
haven't.
love to talk about it. You
But-
guys can continue if you want. I just haven't seen it. It's tough getting off work. I know I didn't make dinner, but getting Taco Bell can be difficult sometimes.
Well, and also, like, we had to go to Target.
Had to go to Target and get some Secret Santa gifts. Had to run to the comic book store and get my comic, and then come back, read the comic, eat the food.
Okay.
It just took a while.
Now
Sorry.
that we know the itinerary tonight, prior to this.
Yeah.
So the important thing here is
Yeah.
I was thinking everybody else gives their wild, crazy theory, so I'm going to give it a try.
Before we even get to the rest, yeah, please.
I've already read the comic. As I'm listening to this, I had two things, and each one is crazier than the last. Okay.
You're pretty crazy, so let's go. I love it.
Excuse me. So,
Yeah.
Theory number one.
Okay.
What if it was Luke who destroyed the Jedi Temple, and
Get
the
outta here.
battle that we saw, or the struggle that we saw between him and Kylo, was Kylo trying to stop him from destroying the Jedi Temple? He said, why did you do it? He was talking to Luke.
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't.
But so how do you explain Luke on Octu kind of talking about it? You know,
He was lying.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm
this
just
is
saying.
dark. I did not expect this.
I don't know.
This was not planned.
You know what?
No, that's okay.
I won't share my second
No,
theory
I want
then.
you to. I'm just asking to. Hey, let's talk about it more, because I just want to understand it more. So, do you think that just like there's a bigger purpose, like Luke Skywalker has a bigger purpose, and he's like
know.
it could be. It's all a front for somebody. It's either Luke that has this front or
Hey,
Ben.
you said it earlier.
Yeah.
Snoke is Luke.
The joke I made, I was like, wait, did I actually theorize that?
No, you did. It was real.
Anything's possible. I mean, even after reading this, anything's possible.
But yeah, so if it is Palpatine's Force lightning,
It sure looks like it.
But do we know? Okay, so here's a question for everybody.
Yeah.
Do we know who else do we know in the galaxy that has that ability?
Yoda, but why would he do that?
Well, Yoda wouldn't do that.
I don't think Luke would either, but you think it's a possibility.
I don't know. I think that anything is possible. You know what? It's J.J. Abrams that we're talking about.
Okay.
And we know what he did to us in Lost.
That's true.
So,
okay. No,
look, all I'm saying is everyone else has crazy theories.
I'm biting it.
And you're spitting it back out.
I'm sitting it down. I'm digesting it.
I don't think it got that far.
No, it did. And let's continue this, and then we're really going to get to the theories.
Okay.
So the temple blows up. It looks like there's lightning. Ben's blown back. So everyone who thought he brought it down and there's people that's not what happened. It just isn't what happened. He walks up to the rubble and sees a bunch of dead Jedi and says no. And then he screams out, no. He's on the ground screaming no. And there's an explosion. He falls back again. He says, I didn't want this. And then Palpatine or Snoke, whoever's talking to him, says, and because we don't know, there's no image here, says, and you did not choose it, Ben. The Jedi did. Skywalker. And so Ben gets back in a ship. Or no, he's thinking about what happened. He's still in a ship. So this is all him thinking about what happened. He's in a ship. He's taking off. The droid's like, do you want to go to Hazian Prime to see your family? He's like, no, we're going somewhere else.
I wonder what would have happened if he had gone to his family. Why did he turn to Snoke before... Oh, spoiler. Now you know where we're going. Why would he turn to him before he would turn to his own family? Because it has to have something to do with what had happened to him before.
Yeah, yeah. And so we go back to the three Jedi who are in their broken down ship, and he says... one of them says he took out our main engines, one shot. If he was even the tiniest bit off, we'd been hot vapor right now. And the other one's just like, I told you he wouldn't hurt us. He's not a murderer. It's just it's they're kind of blown away too.
Oh wait, can I see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so they're talking about where he went. This is one of my favorite lines. I don't know why.
Yeah, come on.
They're talking about where he went. And one of the characters who's new, these are all new characters who were learning at the Jedi Academy, and we haven't seen them since.
We could see them in the Rise of Skywalker.
We might. I don't know. But he says, maybe we can track him through the Force. He casts a pretty long shadow.
He does.
I don't know why. I really like that.
He's a Skywalker. I mean, that's he talked about Luke, being a shining beacon in the Force, and same with Ben. So they're like, hey, we can track the droid. It's a temple droid. It has it can be tracked, so they track him. And we see then that Ben Solo goes to a place that just says elsewhere. We don't know what it is. It's a planet that seems to be wrapped in like machinery, and it's like covered with a shield or something.
Yeah,
it's
it kind of looks like it was made out of Legos.
It kind of does. And then we see Snoke. He's got a really nice headpiece there. He's all fancy. And he just says, my boy. And it takes me to the clip that Star Wars shared. This isn't a spoiler. Star Wars shared this clip where Ben or Kylo Ren goes into this place, and you hear Palpatine talking to him, and he says, my boy. I think he says, you're finally home or something. You finally come home or something like that. And then we hear the different voices. We hear what seems to be Snoke. We hear what seems to be Vader. And then we see my boy again. It seems like Snoke is connected to Palpatine somehow. And Snoke says, I'm so pleased you came to me, and he embraces him in a hug. And Snoke looks like he does. He's kind of got the messed up face, and he looks like he's been kind of hacked up. And he says, Ben says to him, Snoke, look what Master Luke did to you.
Okay, see, who is he?
He sensed the darkness in him, and I think Luke found out who it was. And I mean, Leia and Han know who he is, so they knew this is the guy misleading them. I think Luke confronted him, and I want to see it. I want to see Luke confronting Snoke in The Rise of Skywalker. If I don't see it, I'm going to be upset. Come on. Comments. Okay. Is that a shocker? Were people shocked by that? Okay, let's go.
Also, I had a really bad typo.
Ooh, what did you say?
Gotta go way back.
Okay.
So
they're like Baby Yoda. This.
I know they're still talking about the Mandalorian. Wait, Ben Solo.
I love these guys so much.
Fogel said that was such a revelation, Ben not destroying the temple.
Oh,
I think we all kind of thought it was that he was the one who did it.
Yeah.
And Jory was like, yeah, it just blew my mind. And then Wade said, Dooku did it. So I said, hashtag Dooku disaster.
Dooku disaster.
Except my first hashtag attempt said doo-doo. So anyway.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Right?
I'm 5 years old.
Oh, my God.
Accidentally.
I love these guys. And Holly, when we came to this moment, I just flipped out and we looked at each other, chills.
Both of us.
Chilling out completely. It's a staple of this show. I love Star Wars. It's moments like this when my mind is blown.
It can still surprise you.
You think you have it figured out and you don't.
You don't.
All you folks on Reddit who think you have it figured out, you just don't. I've been theorizing about Snoke and all. This was never a conclusion that I came to. It's never a conclusion that Ez came to. It's never a conclusion that any of us even thought was possible.
No.
We knew Snoke was manipulating him. We did not know that Ben Solo did not. We knew that we're like, how would he have possibly done this? Like, he's just one person, but we never thought that someone came in with force lightning and blew it to hell.
Right, and then now we know that Luke and Snoke at some point had some sort of confrontation.
Yes.
Or we think.
And that's why his face is messed up.
Yeah, there's a lot of manipulation going on, and most of it here is channeled into Ben Solo.
I couldn't agree more. And
it's very sad, but...
Yeah, and there's the surroundings here when they embrace each other. There's these intricate trees. They almost look like they could be forest trees. He has a throne, it looks like, that he's coming from. It's really cool. And so Ben says to him, Snoke, look what Master Luke did to you, which I was like, what? And Snoke, when I'm reading this, Snoke, I just feel like he's very passive. Like, he says, never mind that, my young Ben. Let us consider what he nearly did to you. It has been manipulating him for a long. This isn't. I mean, this is far different from what we see in The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, where he ridiculed. I mean, once he turned him, he became. Take off that ridiculous thing. Like, he just rips him apart to really put the kindling on the fire to light that dark side up. But he had to gain his trust here, and we're seeing that, which is fantastic. We haven't seen the origins of it, which I'm sure we will, because the next issue goes back to Luke and Ben fighting the Knights of Ren together. And now we know that individual there, that is the original leader of the Knights of Ren.
And it has to be Snoke. I'm leaning more and more towards it's Snoke. The
You're
build
welcome.
is the same.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, Fogel said,
come on, folks.
Snoke seems like a parental figure to Ben later in this comic.
Yeah.
The temple's destruction, I think, is a consequence of a conflict between Snoke and Luke, with Ben being a tool. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because he says, I never wanted this. And he's like, the Jedi did it. Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's he's not taking any fault in it. He just, isn't this what you wanted? They deserve it. This is just it. This is how it is.
Yeah.
And so Snoke's just all calm. He says, let's consider what he nearly did to you. And Ben says, it doesn't matter. I killed him. And Snoke's pretty funny here. He's like, do you think so? Luke Skywalker will not die easily whenever or however it happens. And he says, easy. Nothing about this is easy, Snoke. And Snoke just patiently says, of course, my boy. I meant no offense. Let us put Skywalker aside for now. He has stolen too much of your life as it is. Tell me now, what you are finally free, what will you do? And Ben just responds, I've been thinking about the Knights of Ren. And we just have a picture of them on what looks like a tank. Looks like the A-team just whooping some butt.
Actually, it's pretty much, it's like a badass.
Yeah.
They do kind of look like the A-team. Like, they're ready to go. They've got the weapons slung over their shoulders.
They do. So, guys, that's the issue. I mean, there's a little up front, like I said, with the Knights of Ren and their leader. We really don't know who he is, but I do see him now in the cover when Ben and Luke are battling them. I see him there. He's got a red lightsaber. So it seems like Ben knows the Knights of Ren are leaderless, and he wants to lead them.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll see that play out.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, I don't know. There's like so much that happened in this short little comic.
I agree. I mean, the biggest thing is that
Ben didn't destroy the temple.
Ben didn't destroy the temple, which is huge. And you and I talked earlier, and you're like, but he killed his father.
Yeah.
Like, he obviously is, like, terrible.
But, okay, so what is the length of time that passes between this and that time? I forget.
What do you mean, the comic?
Well, yeah, from the temple being destroyed to that interaction with his dad.
I mean, it has to be, I don't know, at least 6 years. I would think. I mean, he's in his early 20s when we see the Force Awakens, I think. So here he's a teenager. He's got to be, I don't know, 16 or something like that, or I don't know. So probably that amount of time.
I don't know. A lot can happen in between then.
Well, it can, but that's the thing. We're going to see Snoke corrupting him, and maybe we'll see it in the Rise of Skywalker. We're going to see him fully corrupt him to the dark side. And that's the thing, though. To impress your mentor, for them to believe that you fully committed, you have to do an act like that. You have to destroy something you love. All of the Sith before them have done it. I mean, they're claiming that they're not Sith. Star Wars has said they're not Sith.
Okay.
It seems like Sith to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another thing. In the beginning of the comic, the leader of the Knights of Ren makes a comment. They meet these two kids, and then he kills both. Well, he has the one brother kill one of the brothers.
Yeah.
And then the leader of the Knights of Ren, or maybe he's not even the leader. I don't know.
I think he is.
But he can't be because, okay, so what happens is this guy kills this other kid. And then everyone who's with him, they were pretty much like, whoa, why'd you do that? We thought that you were going to bring him with us. They, like, wanted him to join
like
them.
Tryouts for the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, like an audition, but unwillingly.
Yeah.
But then he says, you know, don't worry about it. If this were easy to join, everyone would join the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
And then he says something like, he will choose another one.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me feel like they're searching the galaxy for someone very special. So maybe that guy that we see in the beginning of the comic isn't Snoke, but who he's referring to is Snoke.
Could be.
And he's just doing stuff on behalf of Snoke. And then somehow something happens in between this and The Force Awakens that allows Kylo Ren to step into that leader's position. And now he's the one searching the galaxy for this person. And that's when he comes across Rey and tries to get her to join him because he recognizes how powerful she is.
Yeah. Or is it Palpatine?
I don't know.
Is it Palpatine putting together a group of whatever you want, assassins? Are they all Force sensitive? I don't know. It looks like it. No, they actually confirm it. They confirm it because you see one of the tryout guys lift something and he's like, that's good. He's like, we all can do it. It's like a requirement to join. I don't know if he's being serious or not, but it seems like they're all sensitive. They're they're all sensitive. They're really emotional guys.
They are.
They're all Force sensitive.
Bless them.
But what if it's Palpatine? What if it's Palpatine who has put together this group to go out and find relics?
And then it actually is Snoke, and he's reporting back to Palpatine. Okay, so what, last episode
Snoke may be Palpatine.
Okay, I was going to bring that up.
That's what that clip kind of seems to show us, that because, like, I'm telling you guys, like, Star Wars released this, like, that's the clip. He said, like, I've been here all along. And then you hear these other voices say things. It's almost like he's been portraying himself as these characters. I thought the gimme is Vader. I've always thought that Palpatine, since we know Palpatine's coming back, or even Snoke before we knew Palpatine was coming back, I thought someone was impersonating Darth Vader. Because I'm like, how, and I think everyone agrees that, like, how does Ben not know that Vader turned? Like, he has to know that he ended up being good and redeeming himself for the galaxy. How does he not know that and believe, you know, that this Vader is talking to him and telling him to do terrible things? I think that was Palpatine. I think Palpatine was being Snoke somehow.
Well, you had speculated that in a prior episode. You had said, what if Snoke was the vessel that Palpatine needed to get to Kylo Ren?
And that's I think he's got a lot of things going here. Snoke, maybe Snoke isn't the leader of the Knights of Ren, but that's just like the Knights of Ren are one aspect that they need to go out and they need to hunt relics, or they need to hunt, kind of like whatever, like looking for Baby Yoda, like the getting the DNA to like find out how to, create life or whatever it is. Maybe their mission is to go. Maybe their mission is to do something, and Snoke plays another part, or like he's just the vessel to have a voice for whatever he needs to do. And I think that's what that clip. But then again, they're showing these clips, and it could be completely manipulative. Something I just kind of thought today was that, like, I was talking with Ashley about this clip because she's a big Star Wars fan, Holly's friend Ashley, and I sent her, she had never seen the clip. I sent it to her, and she's like, that looks like Kylo's going in there to confront the Emperor. And I was like, what? To me, it looked like he was going in and seeking guidance or knowledge or something. And she said, well, at the beginning, they show him walking in with his lightsaber lit, scraping the ground. I'm like, you're absolutely right. It almost looks like he was going in there to confront him. And either maybe the Emperor had foreseen that and he knew this was going to go down. I don't know. But it was so funny because I said, actually, you're blowing my mind. What if at a point in this movie, The Rise of Skywalker, Kylo Ren, repents for what he's done. He says, I need to be the one to end this. And he single-handedly goes into that temple to confront Palpatine on his own. What if he is the hero that the galaxy actually needed?
I literally hate everything you just said.
He identified the evil that was. Here's what I'm putting this down, whether you like it or not. Hear me out. Ben Solo identified a great evil. Luke confronted him. Cut him up a little bit. Couldn't even take him out.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just got to the beginning, but yeah, go ahead.
I don't think I'm following you. So.
Okay.
Ben Solo.
Luke confronts this evil that.
Oh, I thought
Ben
you meant Luke
found.
confronted Ben, and I was
why?
No,
Luke confronted Snoke. Cuts him up a little bit because he's been, tempting his apprentice, his nephew, his family. Couldn't defeat him. Thinks he failed. And Ben says, I'm the only one who can do this. I'm almost going to finish what Darth Vader started in defeating Palpatine. I am going to sacrifice my father and my mother to earn that evil's trust, and they will believe it. When a Skywalker does that type of thing, they turn to gain his trust, to become his apprentice, to get the power to be able to destroy him. I didn't believe it before, but after that clip, after this comic, I'm going to make a bold statement. It might not be that bold because a lot of people think that Ben Solo would be redeemed. I think that he's been way ahead of everyone. And that he has to do what's necessary to save the galaxy. And to only earn that dark side's trust is to do terrible things. So I do think, I feel like I'm on that pulpit and I'm just preaching the word right now. I feel like Ben Solo is making the ultimate sacrifice of his family and ultimately of himself to bring down evil. And I think that's going to be revealed in The Rise of Skywalker. He is the sky. I feel like I'm at the impeachment hearings. Can I buy some more time? Can the speaker allow me 2 more minutes?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. The speaker is, thank you. Thank you, the gentle lady from Ohio. I appreciate you granting me a little more time. I feel like he is the Skywalker who is rising to the occasion because it's necessary. And I hate myself for it because I also think that what is Rey's role then?
She has no role. You might as well just take her out of the movie at this point. I know. What was the point of Rey?
There's something there that I don't quite understand.
You are getting me all worked up.
Unless this is misleading me. Unless we are being misled.
I did not get any of... Okay, everyone needs to read the comic.
Tell me what's wrong. Is anyone commenting?
Yes.
Did they say, wow, Michael, great impassioned speech? Can the gentlemen and the gentle ladies of the chat grant me more time to speak?
Nobody's granting you more time to speak. I'm going to read the comments that back up what I feel. And it's just a lot of Michael Moore saying, stop. Take it back.
Okay.
I don't like this, Michael. Take it back.
What are folks talking about? We'll come back to that theory. What are we talking about?
Well,
we're on tangents in there?
Yeah, I don't. Well, your speech kind of shut everybody up.
Well, that's okay. I think they're listening to it right now. There's a small delay.
There is, but I don't know. Ashley's all on board with it.
Let's go, Ashley.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Nate, I don't want Ben Demption.
I don't.
But I will take Ben Demption over Reylo. I don't want either of those.
No.
I won't take either of those.
Nate, I'm so on board. I absolutely don't want Reylo. I could not agree more with that. But Ben Demption feels like a real possibility.
Wait.
But, yeah.
Ashley just said Rey is there to tempt Ben from his path to destroy the dark side. That's interesting.
So, I mean, yeah.
But how? How? Elaborate on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll hear it from Ashley.
We'll hear it from Ashley. So, I it upsets me because I don't know what Rey's role is. Then like because I adore Rey. I love Rey. I want her to be the star of the show.
Well, no, you don't. You just
said. No, I ultimately do. I want Ben Solo to be a baddie, and he turns, and there's even a 3-sided front here, and it's good versus evil. That's fine, and she can kick all their asses, and that'll be epic, and I'm gonna come out bawling. But this is a game changer. It just is. I don't know how you ignore that and think that when he said he's struggling with the light, he means it. When he tells Vader he's going to finish what he started, he knows that Palpatine is back. He knows that. That's a secret that he alone knows. He manipulated Snoke in that throne room. He manipulated Snoke's mind, who could be Palpatine, and destroyed his vessel. And that throws Palpatine off. Now Palpatine's got to find a new vessel. Rey, maybe he really starts tempting her now, and Ben's got to finish. If he corrupts Rey, and that's maybe her test and her trial here. When we see Dark Rey, she confronts it. Maybe I don't buy the clone theory. After this, toss the clone theories out the door. No offense, guys, but you know what I'm saying? Come on.
Nate said, the primary reason I don't want Ben Demption is because I feel like it's too close to Anakin's story.
I agree.
Though that makes me think it probably will happen since Star Wars is poetry. I just think that's a terrible story. If people are saying that they're upset about the Rise of Skywalker, and that's what's happening, then I agree with them already.
Well, here's the thing, Holly. I agree. Are we then just kind of following episode 6 and the redemption arc? Yes.
Right. I said, do we want the same pattern and story over and over again? No, it's boring. It's not original.
Here's how it's different.
How is it different?
This Skywalker is knowingly making sacrifices to go to the dark side to bring a balance.
Isn't that what Anakin was doing when he went to the dark side to try to...
No, that was a selfish thing.
Yeah.
His Padme, he wanted to save that is him ultimately turning, and that could be why Kylo Ren has not fully turned. But then with this theory, I struggle with him confronting Luke, and I'll destroy it. I'll destroy it all. There is a darkness there that I think he's battling. I don't think he originally wanted this. I think, to be honest, he's more and more sounding like Jason Solo. He is more and more sounding like Jason Solo. That he's trying to kind of balance this this power, this darkness.
Yeah, Fogel said, do you think Snoke is trying to propose to Ben a true path of the Jedi, quoting the other Padawans, you aren't Jedi, feels like the old EU Jason Solo route that brought him to the dark side.
Exactly. It's
Okay, here's why I don't think that's fair.
Okay,
because if you're watching the movies but you're not reading the books, you have no parallels to draw from. You can't make those connections.
And that's okay.
Okay.
Because you don't need to make the connections, because this is an original story. This is Ben Solo seeing the future and making sacrifices, and it almost feels like there's something that Luke knows then that hasn't shared with everyone. That maybe he's too focused on the fact that he lost his nephew, that he thinks he destroyed the temple, that he thinks maybe he didn't even know. Maybe he didn't even know. I tried to defeat Luke. I tried to guide my nephew to become a great leader, a great user of the Force, and I failed.
You mean he tried to defeat Snoke?
Tried to defeat Snoke.
I was like, Luke.
And then, but no, he tried to defeat Snoke. I can't wait to see that confrontation. I think we're going to see it in the movie.
I hope so.
I don't think that we're going to see it in the comic. Or maybe because the
next comic doesn't come out until January
15th.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some time to let this movie happen, to maybe show that confrontation, and it'll all kind of tie into to the story here. But I think Luke isn't even maybe aware, and that this this new chosen one may be Ben Solo, because that's the thing. Like I think it's similar to Jason Solo, but I think it's completely different.
We have another comment.
Come on,
Wes.
Oh God, Wes.
He said, for me, I don't want Bendemption because it's too similar to the Return of the Jedi. And on the other hand,
agree.
I don't want to see the Skywalker's last line to be a villain, which takes away from Darth Vader's redemption.
I agree. It's just different. I know it sounds like kind of a remake, but it's different.
I guess it depends on who you ask.
Okay, so tell me why is it the same then? I'm curious. Like why do we think it's the same story then?
I don't know. I'm just like tired of the same pattern of, oh, here's this bad guy, and then, oh my gosh, he realized how wrong he was, and now he's going to do something and sacrifice himself, but try to make it right before he dies. I'm like really tired of that storyline.
I agree. That's classic Star Wars. Yeah. You know? It really is. I think it's a different sacrifice though. I really do, because it ties in to The Force Awakens. I just think of him talking to his grandfather. Finish what you started.
So you think that was him taking down Palpatine?
I do. But you guys know, like, this is just kind of me going off the material that I have now at hand. But I, like you, I personally, I don't want him to be redeemed. I think it's awesome that we have a good guy who turned dark that stays dark, and I think that makes it complicated. And it's complicated that the fact that he's a Skywalker, and then you have all these people thinking there will be redemption, and then we have Rey, and I want her to be the savior that we need. I really do. I think she's deserving of that. I don't know now, which I'm so glad this happened before the movie, because this makes me more confused than I have ever been. Even with more information from this, I'm more confused, because I too want what these guys want. I want him to stay dark. I want it to be that interesting. Palpatine comes in. That's a game changer. Is he going to sacrifice himself even in the darkness to destroy Palpatine? And I don't know. Palpatine was a game changer.
I would rather have Rey be a Skywalker than have Ben be redeemed.
Me too. I want the Skywalker legacy to continue.
Now
I am selfish like that.
I don't know.
Kathy Kennedy said this is the final Skywalker story for now. She said it. She can't take it back. She said that. I am all for Rey being a Skywalker.
What if the joke's on us? What if that was actually her twin sister and she was pretending to be the other twin?
Wait, run that by me one more time?
Remember how she had her twin with her?
Rey?
Kathleen Kennedy?
Kathy Kennedy. She did. I didn't know she had a twin.
I didn't either.
Maybe it wasn't her, so that she could say, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
that was my sister. That's hilarious.
I wasn't kidding,
Wow.
but okay.
The epic
So
plots
funny.
that Star Wars is setting. I don't know, Holly. I would love Rey to be a Skywalker. I would love it because I could see it continuing on then for another freaking 6 movies in 10 years. Great, let's do it. I'm down. It's more complicated than this. That's what I'm saying. It's they've confused us and it's fantastic. I freaking love it. And you know what? Everyone asked JJ, "Hey, so what Rian Johnson did it throw off your plans for your story?" I said, "Not at all." I think I believe him.
Okay. Nate said, I still kind of hope that Rey is no one, despite my theories suggesting otherwise.
Could not agree
I
more.
was like, I literally went off last night about how Rey
Whoa,
needs to
not
be
on
a no
Nate.
one.
Not on Nate.
No, I said about how Rey needs to be a nobody.
Yeah. And I think we love that, right?
Because somebody said something. What did I say? I was so worked up about it.
It was something about her being a clone?
I just said no. Well, yeah, because we were talking about how it would be really disappointing if she was a clone.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that having Rey be a Skywalker would be very discouraging to, I think ultimately Star Wars stands to try to give real people real hope, especially people who are in desolate situations or don't feel like they're going to be able to get out of a hole.
Couldn't agree more.
And
That's why I watch Star Wars.
Right.
I cried last night.
You did.
And I was reminded this is why I love this franchise. This is why I love this community, because it's a community of hope.
Yeah. And I think that if you make Rey just another Skywalker, the message that you're sending, especially to these young girls who look up to Rey as a role model, the message ultimately that Star Wars would be sending at that point would be, you can only be great and you can only be a badass if you have that bloodline. And I think that is the wrong message to be sending, especially right now with everything that's going on. Yeah. I think that it would just take away from all these people. And ultimately, they're making Star Wars for the people to watch them.
They are.
And they have to be relatable. And so far it has been. It's been a band of random people that have gotten picked up through the galaxy, and some have found out they're extraordinary, and
some are.
Others have made themselves extraordinary by just trying to do things that they wouldn't normally do without the support of the other people, which the support mainly came from the Skywalker family. But there were other people who were doing bigger things.
You're right.
And making more sacrifices than the Skywalkers were because they had more to lose.
You're absolutely right.
I don't know. That is why I think that Rey should be a nobody.
I couldn't agree more. And can I make a Dark Knight reference here, Holly, and you not make fun of me?
Yes.
Can I make a statement here? Ben Solo is the hero that we need right now, but he's not the hero that we deserve. Rey is the hero that we deserve.
I agree.
The unaltering, facing north, consistently good, hopeful savior that the galaxy needs. But it's going to take the savior that we need right now in Ben Solo to bring down the darkness that currently exists. He's the only one. We've seen it with Snoke. He's the only one that knows how to defeat it. Mm-hmm. He's the only one. And they may join forces. I think he's too far gone. I do. I will agree. I think he's too far gone. Okay? I don't think he's going to be redeemed. But he's necessary. Jason Solo was similar. He ultimately died for it. I think he is the hero that we need right now. It's not the one that we deserve. And I do. I think Rey is that hero that we need because the Force saw she was a worthy vessel. Mm-hmm. And it awoke in her to bring that balance because it knows that Kylo's too far gone. He's necessary, though. But Rey is going to rise.
Okay, and that's what ultimately the way that it's heading, I guess that is the outcome that I would like to see. But because if Kylo then turns around to work on defeating Palpatine, well, I guess it could go, if he defeats Palpatine, but he has his own reasons because he ultimately wants to be the most powerful, that is not a redemption. That is him being selfish, like you said Anakin was.
Agreed.
But if he's defeating Palpatine because he thinks that he needs to, then...
I mean, I think when he finds out, but that's the thing. Does he find out that Palpatine's been behind it the whole time, or has he known the whole time? I kind of think that what he knew and what his intentions were have gotten lost in the darkness. I think he went for the power to bring down the evil, and he got lost in it, and he became that darkness. Ultimately, that's kind of what the Sith have done. Mm-hmm. You hear Count Dooku say it. He tells Obi-Wan, join me, and we can destroy the Sith. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Anakin even says it to, does he say it to Obi-Wan too?
I don't know. I don't remember. We just watched these.
Does he? No, he doesn't say it to Obi-Wan. He says it to, I think he even says it to Padme. He says, we can,
yeah.
I can be the leader of this.
And that's but that scares her.
In their minds, it's necessary to get the power to do what they think is right
and
in darkness.
Normal people, they're like, what?
But I need it to be answered though. If he's not a Sith, then what is he? What has he become?
I'm sorry, Nate just said the dark side is like gravity. All you need is a little push.
One slaying of your father, and you're one slay away from full darkness. That's true. I mean, it does just take a nudge, and I think it's
a nudge.
But that's the thing. So what if Ben isn't trying to just save the galaxy? Then what's his purpose for turning? Is it simply that his uncle tried to kill him? That he thinks his uncle tried to kill him? That he's have someone manipulating him the whole time?
But if Ben really does want to save the galaxy, then what I actually need explanation on is the confrontation between him and Luke.
Snoke?
No. Ben Solo and Luke Skywalker.
Ben Solo and Luke Skywalker.
I need to know what happened there and what caused that confrontation. Nothing else matters until I get an explanation about that.
I think it could have been similar things that Anakin experienced. He's got Palpatine. It's very similar, and him and Anakin's story are very similar. He's got Palpatine saying, hey, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis? No. Well, it's just power that you could probably use. That's cool. Then you have the Jedi, the Council, and his mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, telling him otherwise.
I mean,
it's similar. Luke was trying to probably withhold information from him, right? Knows it's a dark path. That's what his father did. He knows the story. He's trying to protect him too much. He didn't trust him.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
can I just say this is my favorite podcast?
Your own podcast?
No, this episode. I love our podcast and I love our community, but like the conversation we're having right now brings me so much joy, and I can't stop smiling. And we're watching a Star Wars tomorrow. I'm not even going to focus at work. I don't even know why I'm going.
Guys, I'm leaving work at 2:00 to emotionally prepare myself for seeing Star Wars at 6:30.
Me too. Right?
Right. I'm missing the champagne toast at work.
Yeah, we're celebrating. We're having an appreciation champagne toast, and I'm ducking out early.
Bye. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to say that because this is. I love what these guys are saying. I love this conversation. And now I don't remember what I was gonna say. That's my bad. Can you say what you were saying before? I was trying to express appreciation for everyone. Then you made me forget. That I think Ben or Luke is withholding something from him. Yeah. Okay. But the problem is that I think everybody can disagree with me, but I think that is what would make Luke a very bad Jedi, I guess, because has he been a good one? No, but I mean, he runs this academy now. I don't think that he is a good leader, because if you're going to withhold that kind of information, ultimately your student needs to decide what path he or she is going to take. And withholding that information is prohibiting them from making a decision. Now you're starting to sound like a Sith. No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's prohibiting them from making an informed decision. Well, they don't have all the facts. And if he's withholding any information, Darth Vader turned or any of that, he's prohibiting Kylo from being able to make that decision on his own. Mm-hmm. He's pushing him in a certain direction. Yeah.
Which I understand you need to do, but I feel like he's taking it to an extreme.
I agree. And as much as I think he thinks that he's learned from the failures of the council, I mean, he's made failures this whole time, right? I mean, with Ben, with making the decision to isolate himself and turn himself off from the Force. He made, mistakes with Rey. And ultimately, he paid for him. And I just, so as much as he thinks he's learned and when he goes and he tells Rey, like, the council, the Jedi, turned a blind eye and helped create the, one of the biggest Sith and ever. They just let him do what he needed to do. Yeah, they failed. They did, but maybe he did just what they did, and that's why he failed. That they did restrict him, that they don't teach him this information and how to deal with it. So I don't know.
I just feel like if you're withholding information like that, then you're setting somebody up to act on emotion because they're gonna have this huge bombshell dropped on them.
Well, we're all human. They don't have a professor of the dark arts.
Okay.
But they need to, right? I mean, to understand it, know when it's going to happen. They just avoid it.
And you can't do that.
Take away compassion, take away these things. Luke did that to himself inevitably, didn't he? Going to Octu, shutting himself off from everything? Like, that's what you're doing. You're shutting yourself off from everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know. There's definitely information that we're missing. I mean, Ben being so angry with Luke could just be that, like, you led me down this path.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he hates him. He wants to destroy him because ultimately him confronting Snoke, not allowing Ben to experience what he was going to experience and have the mindset to say, I understand what you're doing here. He kind of led him down this path.
Inadvertently.
It definitely wasn't intentional, but, like, I mean, Luke probably didn't have the training he needed either. It's hard to believe that he probably has these Force ghosts guiding him, but then again, they were the same ones that made those mistakes too. But Yoda seems to have learned from some things that, yeah, the past needs to die. Like that, the Jedi need to go. We need to start something new. So ultimately, I think that he blames Luke Skywalker for sending him down that path.
No, I'm sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What's everyone saying?
Nate just called us gray Jedi.
Is that a thing, Nate? I don't
Michael
know.
doesn't think a gray Jedi is a real thing. He doesn't believe in that.
It really isn't.
So you have to be one or the other.
We're going to find out.
Michael.
The Rise of Skywalker.
We know the only a Sith deals in absolute.
Well, and that was something we were going to bring up, right? In the last podcast or a discussion or something. Like, the Jedi say that only Sith deal in absolutes, but how can you say that? How can you say that? Do they both not?
It sounds like you need to break it down a little more, huh?
I don't know.
What does it mean?
I don't know. I don't know. What other theories do we have out there? What other information do we have? Ultimately, Holly, I need
yes
from you.
Okay.
A prediction. How is this gonna end?
Oh my God, I have no freaking idea. I know how I want it to end.
Well, that's inherently what you're gonna say, right?
Okay,
how you want it to end. Yeah.
Okay, well, how I want it to end and how I actually think it's gonna end can be two different things based on what.
Well, then tell us both.
I don't know. I don't know. I want Kylo to go down, and I want Rey to defeat them. Okay. Kylo and Palpatine, if he's actually there.
However it happens, if it's Ben, what if he's trying to do good but he goes down?
Okay, honestly,
you're okay with that?
I don't really care what happens to Ben.
Nope. Chewie heard my whistle. He thought I was whistling for him.
I don't really care what happens to Ben. I don't want a redemption. I don't want him to be redeemed. I honestly just want him to be bad. I just want him to stay bad.
Yeah.
I've said that from the beginning. I've literally said that since The Force Awakens.
Yeah. And no, I agree. I think he's down that path. I think it's going to be hard to steer him away from that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yep. Chewie, go lay down. I didn't mean to whistle and get y'all excited. He thinks he's going for a run or something. No, I agree. I would like to see him stay on the dark side too. I don't know how. I think he's too far gone, right? I mean, he's done these things. Or is he secretly he knows what's going on?
If you were watching
Harry Potter.
No, I'm not talking about Harry Potter.
Okay.
If you were watching Star Wars before episodes 7 and 8,
okay,
and before episode 6, you would probably also think that Darth Vader was too far gone, and then we get a redemption. You would be saying the same thing.
Yeah. No, that was a quick turn.
So,
but I think you're gonna see Star Wars tap into that story a little more though too. They're gonna do some storylines with Vader. We've already seen it in the last Vader line. You know, immediately after losing Padme and becoming Darth Vader, he has thoughts of ending the Emperor. He has visions of seeing Obi-Wan on a hill on Tatooine and going to him and saying, "Master, I'm sorry." He has those thoughts. I think we're going to talk about that more as we go on. You're going to see Vader struggling with things a little more.
Yeah.
That it isn't so black and white. That he isn't just some bad guy behind that suit. That there's a lot of pain there. There's a lot of regret. And the darkness just tends to kind of feed off those things. And you do things inexplicably. So, and I think that's a lot of Ben Solo's story. Whether it was he knew what was going on and he thought he could make this sacrifice to defeat evil because that's what's necessary. I think that's a genius story.
Yeah.
I think that's unique. I don't think that matches Vader's redemption toe to toe at all. Yeah.
Speaking of the darkness.
Come on. The darkness.
Not the band. Although the big hair is fine.
Hello. Wow. Phrasing.
Phrasing.
Wow.
That's the first. Nate was like, when do we get a phrasing tally?
Yeah, it's been surprisingly mild tonight.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Nate said, when is the Twilight podcast starting, y'all?
Oh, he's not aware that that's already happening?
What were we going to call it?
Oh.
Does anybody remember what we were going to call it? I thought it was a pretty good name.
The Cullens Awakening.
Yeah. No, that wasn't. That was mentioned.
Was?
I don't think that was the one.
I thought that was it. The Cullens Awakened or the Cullens Awakening.
I think Chewie heard you say G-O, and now he's all worked up.
Well, no, he heard me whistle, and he's been doing revelations now in the studio and running up and down the stairs.
That's what I said. Ashley and Nate were like, Chewie. Ashley was like, Chewie wants greenies. I said, well, Nate's been encouraging us to give him too many treats, so he's running stairs right now.
He is. He's running stairs, running off all the treats. I'm bummed that Luke couldn't join us today. He's got a newborn, and I asked him if he could make it tonight, and he's just like, man, newborn didn't really sleep much. It's not looking good. And I really wanted to. I'm probably gonna just take this in to him tomorrow and say, take 10 minutes and just read this. Because it's great and he needs to be ready for it. And I want to get his thoughts too. And so we are seeing The Rise of Skywalker tomorrow at 6:30.
Can't wait.
Marcus Theaters. I'm going to get there early to make sure I get the exclusive can because they're going to have it, of a large corn and a large Coke. I need it. It's a Star Wars. That's what I need. I'm getting the can.
I'm going to get a large burr.
Yeah.
And a large...
Do you really want a large beer for Star Wars? I don't think that's a good idea.
It's only 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and you'll be hammered in the third act. And then you'll be like,
act.
What is happening? It's Ben Solo going to get redeemed or what, people? Let's go!
It's not Hamilton.
Yeah, no, I think... Hammerton.
Hi, I'm Holly Hammerton Walton.
Hi. Yeah, that's your middle name. Mine's Danger.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Danger Canterbury. But no, I don't think it's a good idea. I might have to veto the beer option because I think it's going to get sloppy.
Okay.
I can't be getting kicked out of The Rise of Skywalker because Holly gets sloppy. Yeah. So we're going to see the movie, right? I would love to do a live thing, but like I said, I don't want to ruin anyone's experience. I don't want to tell you if I like it or not. I think I'm going to love it. I'm probably going to cry. So you might snap a photo.
Yeah.
And say, Michael's overwhelmed.
Send it to everybody.
Whether it's good or bad. It'll probably be good. But then I think Sunday night, I'd like to do another live podcast. let me know, guys, if you think that if you're interested in that, and hopefully by that time y'all have seen the movie, and we can talk about it in detail, and you guys can say, "Damn it, Michael, you were right," or "Damn it, you were so off," and Star Wars had you confused yet again. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, like whether we like it or not, it just feels like maybe Ben Solo is the hero that we need in this moment, and that Rey is the one we deserve. And because here's the thing, I don't see Adam Driver doing any more Star Wars. Do you, Holly?
No, I don't see Adam Driver doing a lot of anything, actually.
Whoa,
no,
that's
I'm just
terrible.
saying,
I think he's doing a lot right now.
No, he is. I just mean like he doesn't really seem into it. He's like, I'm just like acting as my job. I'm just gonna go in and act. I think
he likes to do a lot of different stuff. So I don't think he wants to get pigeonholed into playing this character the rest of his life. He does remind you a little Harrison Ford, in this kind of new age.
And they both were at the premiere.
They were, which I thought was great. It made me so happy when I saw both of them. Yeah. But I think like this is the end for him. And I think he's what we need to defeat the ultimate evil in the galaxy. And you know what? When evil rises again, I think the hero that we deserve is going to be there, and is going to be the sole one to take it on in years to come. But I think they're going to need to join forces. I do think when they're smashing that statue, that's what they're doing. They're coming together, light in the darkness, to defeat the ultimate evil that's come back from the dead.
I don't know if everybody remembers this from the Rebel Watch days, but I actually made that prediction in Rebel Watch.
What?
I said at some point, Ben or Kylo Ren and Rey are going to have to team up to defeat another power that comes in.
Yeah. And you may think, like, in other circumstances that maybe that light darkness would go on in future movies and they would battle each other. But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like Adam Driver is probably done with the franchise after this. But I think Rey, I think Daisy Ridley she would enjoy to do it. I think she loves being that role model. I think that's fantastic. But so we talked a little bit about Rey, because what do you guys got tomorrow? Work or something? Like, we can talk a little bit longer, right? I dislike so much the idea of Rey being genetically modified or created as a clone.
Like a clone, yeah.
I don't think it's necessary. I think you have cool stuff over here with Palpatine, and we'll learn how he came back, and maybe explains, like, hey, this is what I learned from Plagueis, and then I had to have the Knights of Ren come and do this, and then here I am in the flesh. What are you going to do about it? And then I think Rey, I love what Rian Johnson did with her. I love it so much. I think that even the broom kid at the end, anyone can rise to the occasion, even the stable boy, even the what does Rey consider herself? Like, I'm just she doesn't say straggler, she's scavenger. Why do I always forget that? I'm just a scavenger. She says that over and over. She tells that to Han Solo.
Yeah.
Well, this is he's with the resistance. I'm just a scavenger. She's nobody. Kylo Ren was right. And he knows it. And he's like, I was supposed to be the chosen one. You see it in the comic. You see him being arrogant and talking to these people like, I'm more powerful than the three of you combined.
Yeah, he's super arrogant.
And they know he's powerful. They witness it. They're shocked by it. They're like, wow, I mean, he is a Skywalker.
And he tells them that they should be scared.
And I think you see this figure coming up that he thought that's who I was supposed to be. And now I'm too far gone. I'll destroy her. You're not going to take that from me. I'll destroy her, Luke. I'll destroy all of it. Well, that's why
when you say that figure coming up, you mean Rey?
Yeah. Yeah.
You think he knew about Rey?
No, I think he sees how powerful she is. He felt it.
So he didn't actually say that to Luke.
No, he didn't tell Luke that she was powerful or anything. He goes to Snoke and says
he'll destroy her.
He does.
He says that to Luke?
Yep.
Oh.
When he confronts him as his Force vision.
Oh, yeah.
And he's pointing out, he's like, I'll destroy her. I'll destroy it all.
Well, yeah, it's like when Darth Vader and Palpatine have that conversation about Luke, where he's like, he'll either join us or die.
Well, he knows his bloodline. He knows Snoke's powerful. A little intimidated by Snoke. He's never met anyone like Rey. And when he reads her mind, and he goes back, and he's shaking, he's never seen anything like it. He's afraid. He knows we need to find her now and destroy her before she comes too
So
powerful.
you think that Palpatine was still facilitating all of that to show Kylo how powerful Rey was, so he wanted to destroy her?
What do you mean? Run me by that one more time.
You had said before that Palpatine was facilitating those interactions between Rey and Kylo Ren. Do you still think that?
Yes.
And then do you think that that was Palpatine manipulating Kylo Ren so that he would want to destroy Rey?
Yes.
Because what else would be the point of that?
Yes, but that was the point. That was the point, I think.
Was to have him want to destroy Rey?
I think so. But then in that moment where he overcomes that and he destroys Snoke, he sees an opportunity. He sees an opportunity, a distraction with Snoke, who's focused on Rey and destroying her. I'm going to destroy you. This was my destiny.
But that's because he still thinks that he has a chance to turn Rey to the dark side.
He does, yeah.
And then after she
because
doesn't...
here's the thing, Holly.
Okay.
That's what Sith do.
No, I understand
when
that's what Sith do.
When they think that someone can be more powerful than them, take them in as apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Hold them back.
Yeah.
That's what Palpatine did with Anakin.
Yeah.
Dooku says it to Obi-Wan. He's probably going to try to do the same thing. You're a powerful Jedi. Join me. We can destroy him. Because they fear them. So they're going to hold him back. I mean, Anakin thought Obi-Wan was doing it to him.
But
yeah.
Do you think, in a way, that's what Luke was doing to Kylo Ren by withholding that information?
He thought so. Yeah.
He was holding it back. But do you think that's actually Luke's intention?
Yeah.
So they're not so different,
because he's seen his father be destroyed by it. His mother sensed the darkness in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
And got to the point where said, I can't handle him, Luke. You got to do something. I can sense it. And sends him away. My own mother doesn't want to deal with me. My own father's running out doing whatever. And now my uncle wants to hold me back.
Quick pause on that.
I thought you were saying quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo. No. I asked everybody, I said, what do you guys think? Who's the hero that we deserve? Ashley said, I think Rey will end up being the hero, but they'll have to join forces to defeat the dark side.
Yep.
And then Wes said Kylo is redeemed with Rey's help, but he takes a back seat because she's the true hero. I think that that's what makes Rey a really dynamic character, is that, and maybe it is one of her flaws, is that she still thinks that there's always going to be good in people. And so she's going to be that person who continuously gives everybody a second chance, a third chance.
But that's what you need, though. That's what you need.
When you obliterate all these planets and kill all these...
No, I'm saying that's what even Luke Skywalker couldn't be. You know? He's a simple farm kid. And he rises up to the occasion.
Oh, I thought you meant that Kylo needed all those chances to turn back to the light.
No, I'm saying like that unaltering, that compass pointing north is Rey. The light, the good, the force we deserve.
Yeah.
Not even Luke Skywalker could be that. He wasn't the chosen one. Anakin was, we believe.
Maybe.
He ultimately failed too. Especially if he didn't actually kill the Emperor.
Oh yeah, that's like the ultimate failure. He tried.
He did, and that's great. But like Luke, I mean, seemed like that compass pointing north, and he even admits, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a legend, right? Couldn't even save my nephew. The entire republic's destroyed. I lost my temple. What a legend!"
I don't know.
That the arrogance that he may have had in thinking that he needed to control his nephew, that his nephew wasn't headstrong enough to be able to do it himself. He's a Skywalker. You've seen it happen, Luke. You saw your father turn. How do you forget that? He has done it to himself. Luke Skywalker is my favorite character in Star Wars. But I love that we're seeing him struggle. I love that we're seeing him learn from it. He didn't confront his fear. We hear in the trailer. This is the only thing he says in the trailer. Confronting fear is the path of the Jedi. Is that what Ben Solo's doing? I don't think so. Could be. So I think he's telling Rey, she's like, I'm terrified. I saw a vision of myself being dark. What if that happens to me? And he says, you got to confront it. I didn't let Ben Solo confront it. And look what happened. Look what happened. I freaking love this story so much. I cannot wait to see its end. It's literally, it runs through me.
We have less than 24 hours.
Less than 24 hours officially. It's fantastic. We've been going for almost an hour and a half here on the podcast. Guys, I hope you're as excited as I am. I hope that this is going to be a fulfilling experience for you, and you're going to get the answers that you need. And I hope it satisfies your Star Wars need and keeps you coming back. And I know it's going to satisfy me wherever it goes. I know I'm gonna love what it becomes and where it's going to go in the future.
Phrasing.
Where, amen. I hope it does it for you guys too. We have such a cool, shared interest here, and it blows me away every day. It blows me away that I can sit here for an hour and 20 minutes and talk about a silly little comic in a movie we haven't even seen yet, and I'm already blown away by it. I haven't even seen it. But the story that they've created has blown me away, and I think it's blown Holly away, but it's blown us all away. I didn't see any of this coming. 12 pages in this comic book.
Mm-hmm.
It changed the game completely.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoy it this weekend, and if you're interested, in a Sunday live show, let us know. We're probably just going to do it regardless. We're recording a podcast regardless. So if we do it live, fantastic. If we don't, that's okay. I'm still going to talk for an hour and a half.
That's right.
Right? So, Holly, any closing remarks?
I don't have any closing remarks. I am sure that I will have a lot to say this time tomorrow night.
Yes.
That I will not be able to share with literally anybody.
Just me.
Just Michael and Chewie.
Yeah. Is there anyone in the group that has anything else that they want to share, going out?
You're going to have to wait a couple minutes because of the delay.
That's okay. Can I say, though, that, your camera shot is stunning today?
Yeah, it's great placement. You get me, you get Chewie.
Guys, I'm just trying to up the production value. I hope you appreciate it. I have so much fun doing it. We're just trying to make a good production for you. And I hope the content is worthy enough for your ears. And I hope you keep coming back because we love doing this. Am I speaking for myself?
No, you're speaking for me as well.
Okay, I love it. I hope that comes through in the microphone, how much I and Holly love this franchise and the story and the community. And the community.
You guys are awesome.
The community you guys have created. I did not create this. Holly did not create this. It's you guys. It's the 50 notifications I get on Facebook when I get off work, and I'm like, I'm going to read every freaking thing. And
then Michael goes, let's go.
Let's go. I love it so much. You guys have been fantastic. This is the end of the saga, but it's not the end of Star Wars. I sense good things to come. Who knows? The Skywalker saga may not even be over.
From Kathleen Kennedy's mouth to our ears.
To our ears. By God, it's recorded. We can reference it whenever we need to. She said it's maybe not the end. I paraphrased, but that's what she said. So who knows, guys? I cannot wait to see the end of this. And so we may be coming back live again. We'll definitely put an announcement, and I hope you guys can join us again. And full disclosure, Sunday night, it will be a full-on spoiler discussion because it's when you love something so much like we love Star Wars, it's very difficult not to talk about it.
You can't hold it in. You can't hold it in.
Exhibit A, this comic, because I loved it, and I had to talk about it. I'm really sorry. We have some comic readers in the group, and some not, but I hope that you appreciated the little summary we gave and that you understood it and that you're not mad at us for talking about it. I just think it's super important that you hear that or read it before the Rise of Skywalker to go in and kind of understand maybe a little bit like what Ben's going through. There's
what
more.
Is he going through?
There's more that he's going through. These 2 or 3 Jedi know he's going through something. And it's not just the fact that this exploded. They know something else is going on. Something Luke hasn't explained to us just yet, and I hope they really touch on that. I hope we see Ben Solo going through these trials. His family. Show me a little bit of that. Show me the issues he has with them. Show me him and Luke, having a confrontation.
Wes said,
Come on.
Disney told us the Pirates of the Caribbean was done after 3 movies, and they made 2 more. So who knows?
Yes.
Although
they lie.
If Johnny Depp comes into Star Wars, count me out.
Johnny Depp is creating a Broadway show about Michael Jackson through the perspective of his glove. No. I am not kidding.
No, he's not.
Yes, it's a real thing.
I've not heard that.
We'll look it up. It's a thing. It sounds bananas. Wait, I think it's him.
Through his glove?
I think it's him. I'm pretty sure that's him. Fact check me on it. We'll come back with a Holly's corner, or Holly's corrections or something. Yeah. And fact check that. But yeah,
and Michael said my beer would make me sloppy.
I have had half of a Christmas ale and a full Pepsi. So, So yeah, any final words, Holly?
Just that the 4th Pirates of the Caribbean was awful.
I only saw the first one. I thought it was fine, and I think maybe a little bit of the second one. It looked terrible.
It's because Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom really.
I love Keira Knightley.
Brought the film to fruition.
Oh, is she not in the second one?
I'm sure she was. I'm talking about the 4th one.
Oh, the 4th one.
She wasn't in that. Orlando Bloom checked out.
Wait, maybe if it's on Disney Plus.
He had an elf to play. That's a Hobbit, Michael.
Oh, sorry, like right over me. He was a Hobbit? They did not know.
I mean, he was in The Hobbit.
Oh, but he wasn't a Hobbit.
No, he was still the elf.